everyone, welcome to part 3 of our series on importing iClone content into Unity 4. In the first two tutorials, in the first one I showed you guys how to basically import a character geometry into Unity and get that rigged up and apply Unity animations to that character. In the second tutorial I showed you how to create some of your own motions in iClone for use with the Unity Mecanim system. So in this tutorial I'm going to actually just continue on from the second tutorial and bring in all the content that I created from that tutorial, including my character's geometry and the animations. So to do that, I'm going to go back down to the desktop here, and you can see I have my dancedude.fbx and dancedudemotions.fbx. This is the geometry and this is the animations that I exported from 3D Exchange 5. Now I'm just going to bring in the dancedude.fbx into my Unity project here, and I have a folder called characters here. I'm just going to import it into that folder characters there, and once that is finished importing, we'll get directly into rigging our character for motion retargeting. Now there may be some material issues again, you just fix those now, and we'll bring in our character right away here. So in characters we see Dance Dude. There's my dancedude.fbx, there he is down there. So I can just basically click and drag him into my scene here, put him beside the teddy bear there. Alright, so there's our dance dude. We can focus in on him. You'll notice though that if I pan around him though, that there's a little bit of an issue with his shirt. It seems to be tucked into his pants. So what we're going to do is just go into that character's material maps here in the body, and we'll go down to where his t-shirt is. And you can see there that there's a little issue with the material, with the texture map there. So what I'll do is just select shader. I'm going to swap a shader out for this cutout one and bump diffuse, and you'll see that the t-shirt will repair itself. And we'll also want to make him a bit brighter. Now we're going to use the light probes feature in Unity as well. That's right up here. Use light probes, so we'll select that, and the character will get a lot brighter. So again, we can move this guy around. Whoops, not his body. Whoops, we'll move the character around. There we go. Come back, so he's beside Teddy there. All right, so we got our character in. Now we got to what we need to do is rig him up right now. So we'll go to Model and Select, and Rig, and we're going to select Humanoid as the animation type, just like we did in the first tutorial. And we're going to do the same thing. Just configure this. We'll save our project and apply, and it should auto map the bone hierarchy for the character, which Unity has done. So it's all mapped up. We're going to make sure he's in a T-pose, of course T-pose, and then done. That's all there is to it. Now the character is fully able to accept any motions within Unity, which is pretty cool. So okay, we're done there, and now what we want to do first is we're going to create our own Animator Controller. Now the Animator Controller is a new feature in Unity 4 that allows you to create your own state machine. I'll show you what that means in a moment here. But you can see it on in the inspector view here when I have my character selected, Animator Controller. But there's none assigned yet, so what I want to do is I want to create my own. I'll go into the Controllers folder, and then I'm going to create, and I'm going to create an Animator Controller. And we'll call this one Dance Dude Controller. Alright, there we go. So we'll just select our character and drag that controller in there. You can see that his avatar is already defined as Dance Dude Avatar. So in order to get some animations into our character now, we need to import in the animations first. So let's go back to the desktop, select the Dance Dude motions, and we'll drag those into Unity. Oh, it's got to load something up first here. I'll just wait patiently for it to load up. What I'm going to do is import in these animations and apply them to my state machine. So once this is finished loading up, we'll get those right in there. Alright, we're good to go. So I'm going to drag this into the animations folder here, and that will import all my animations in. And first of all, we'll just apply an idle animation to my character. It's really a quick and simple procedure. So once the animations load up, we shall go into our Animator Controller. And we'll fix all the material issues first. So again, I'll go into my character, and I can just double click on this Dance Dude controller, and it should bring up my animator window. There you go. So we have nothing there right now. If I press play, literally nothing will happen. My character will kind of fall into the ground there. So what I want to do first is I want to take one of these motions and apply it to my character's animator controller here. So in animations, I'll select Dance Dude Motions, and I want to make sure that these are all set to humanoid, and I want to make sure that they're not created from this model, they're copied from another avatar, which is the avatar that I just defined. So I'll select the source as dancedude.iavatar. There we go. And then just apply that quickly. So that means that all of the motions that I imported in, they will be retargeted to that particular avatar that I've already defined. And so once that's finished applying, I need to go into the animation section and take a look at, we'll preview all of my animations here that I've done so far. There's my idle, wave, and running motions. So if I select idle, I can preview it. You can see my character's funky little dance there at the bottom. Alright, and we want to go down, scroll down here a bit. And if I press space, I can make this window a bit larger. And you'll see here that I have a range selected for this. And I want to select loop pose to make sure that it's looping over when I play it. And we'll just go apply. The idle motion isn't too difficult. What we want to do, pay attention to more, is the running motions. The running motions can be a bit troublesome to get correct the first time, but fortunately it's not too difficult. So let's go into those right now first before we start applying them to my character state machine. So first let's select run forward, and we'll preview that. You can see there's my forward run, but he'll stop because basically we haven't set a range for my character's run. So I'll just pause that, and I want to select clamp range. And you'll see that if I go down here, the loop match indicator lights are not really all green yet. So if I press play, you'll see why. You'll see my character kind of jerks a little bit at the end of his animation. So what we want to do is we want to select a range. If I just pause that, we want to select a range for my character to do his animation. Now, when you're doing this run, you want to make sure his thighs are fairly close together, almost parallel there. And that's basically the part where you want to start from. So about there for my character. And the end range, you want to make sure it's in the similar pose. And you'll see that there's a little green bump in my range here, in the loop pose track. And if I put it in the middle of that green bump, it should be about the same place as where I started. So if I put it there, you'll see that all the loop match lights have lit up green. And I can select loop pose. I'll probably also want to select bake transform position for my y-axis there as well. And if I press preview, you can see there's my my running animation. So we're all set for the run forward. And once that's done, we'll just pause that and we can press apply. Now for the run left and run right, or turn left and turn right rather. These ones will be fairly similar. For the range anyways, because as you can recall, I pretty much have the same starting position for all of my runs. So if I select turn left, for example, you'll see that I want to clamp range, of course, first. And if I press play, of course, you'll have the same jitter that I had before. So I'm going to select about here. Maybe you want to rotate around so you can get a better view. You can actually just copy the value as well. I think it was at 8.8 or something like that. And for the end part of my range, I want to select, leave it about there. Okay, looks good. We can loop that and block the Y position as well. Let's preview that and see if it looks okay. Looks like he's running around in a fairly decent circle there. Alright, so we're good to go. And we can keep those values. I think it was 8.8, 50.4 for the range. And we can just apply those same values to the right turning animation as well. And that'll save us some time of having to find the range. because both the turns will want them to be uniform. Unless your character is not an ambi-turner, can only turn one way. But we'll select turn right here, and we can just input the values in. Whoops, clamp range first. So we'll put 8.8, and I think the other side was 50.4. Oops, 50.4. Alright, and then we'll want to loop again. We want to bake the Y transform position, and go ahead and apply. And that basically means that all my running motions and other motions will be all set up for now, and we can start applying those to our state machine. So once that applies, we'll get right into that. We'll bring in the idle animation first. So press space again to bring that down. And in Dance Dude Motions, I'll just drill into that, and you can see I have my actual idle animation right there. I'll preview that anytime. So I'll just click and drag that into my Animator Controller. It'll come up as an orange box to indicate it's the default motion. So there's my idle motion. If I press play, you'll see my character pop into his little idle pose there. Starts grooving on the street. Alright, so we need to add a couple more things to my character first if we want him to actually move around. The first one we want to do is we want to add some physics onto him. So we want to add a capsule collider. So I'm going to add a component, add physics, and add a capsule collider. And let's just focus on my character there, if I can see him. Let's zoom in. There we go. You'll see the capsule collider is that little green outline there on the bottom. Now if I want to bring that up a little bit so you can see it better, I want to increase the height. It's a little short for my character there. And it looks about good. Just make sure it's not breaking through the ground plane and you should be okay. So the capsule collider will allow me to break through any physics enabled props in the scene, like those boxes behind me. But first we need to add another component, physics and rigid body. And that'll give my character a rigid body. You can set a mass of about 3, 4, whatever you'd like. However heavy you want your character to be. And if I select freeze rotation, that will prevent my character from basically falling over without my input. So we're all set right there. One more thing we need to do is we need to add a script. Now the script provides input for the speed and direction of my Animator Controller. So what I want to do, they have a default script set up in this project for Unity. If I go down to scripts, there's an idle run jump script. If I just bring that down, I can actually just drag that into my character there. That'll apply the script to my character. Now we'll get more into the script in a bit. But for now I'm going to go back into the Animator Controller, and I'm going to create another state. I'm going to create a run for my character. So to do that, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to basically select create state, and then from new blend tree. So this is creating a blend tree, and this is going to blend my run right, run left, and run forward into a single blend tree. So if I double click on this, the blend tree, you'll see that it'll open up, but there's no motions in my blend tree. So what I need to do is I need to add 3 motion fields. One for run left, one for run forward, and one for run right. And right now we have no parameters set for that. So what we need to do is we need to add a parameter, float parameter, and we want to call that direction. And because we're going to blend in from idle motion to a run motion, we also need to add a parameter for speed as well. So another float parameter, we're going to call this one speed. So we have a parameter set. Now let's drag in my animations. So go into animations and Dance Dude Motions. For turn left, we want to set a value of -1 here, because it's going to run from -1 to +1, where 0 is going to be run forward, -1 value is going to be left, and +1 is going to be right. So after that, I just need to drag these 3 motions in there, turn left, run forward, and turn right. And we're all good to go. So once those motions are in there, you can see in my blend tree that there's turn left, run forward, and turn right. And they're all assigned to each individual values. Now let's go back into our base layer here. And what I want to do is create a transition from my idle to my blend tree. We can just call this blend tree, let's call it something like run. Run is good enough. Alright, so I'm going to right click on my idle. I'm going to select make transition and then click on my run. And vice versa for run down to idle there. Now in the arrow going to run, in the transition going to run, I need to set values. So when does a character run? Basically, if his speed, I select speed, is greater than 0.1. So this is a very simple blend tree. I'm just going to have an idle and a run. No transition to walk right now. If you want to learn more about that, you can actually check the official Unity tutorial. I'm just going to try and keep this one as simple as possible. So for run back to idle, I need to select the transition arrow from run back to idle. And then when does a character idle? I guess when his speed is less than 0.1, so he'll be standing still. Alright, so we're all set there. Now if I press play, you'll see that my character will pop into his idle, and I can make him run. Now let's zoom up the camera a bit here, so you can see that a little bit better. Let's camera. I'll give a better view here. Let me rotate that. Oops, wrong way. There we go. So you get a bit of a better view. My character is running around. Okay, so if I press play one more time, you see my character doing his idle there. If I press forward, he'll run, and I can turn right and turn left. And I can actually run him through those boxes over there as well, due to his capsule collider that we've assigned to him. Alright, so that's basically the simplest blend tree you can possibly have. Just an idle to a run. Now what I'll do as well, I'm going to add in the wave motion as well. Now this will be assigned to a separate control. So in Dance Dude Motions, I want to make sure first that our wave motion is set up properly. So I'll select the wave motion. You can see the range is set, the loop, I can loop it. Make sure the transform position is set. And we can preview that. We can also just, if we select bake into pose for his XY position, you'll see that he'll kind of float around a little bit. So we don't want that. But we can bake his root position, so it'll stay in relatively the same place. Alright, so once that's all set up, we can just apply that. And then we can just drag the wave dancing motion directly into my Animator Controller. And this will be the last thing we'll do in this tutorial. I just want to show you how you can assign a motion to a particular control. So I'll just select the wave motion and drag her into here, and you'll see wave. So the wave will transition from the idle state. Now, in order to create a command to access the wave motion, I need to add a parameter. This one will be a Boolean parameter, and I'll call this one dance. Alright, so now if I want to go from idle to wave, I'm going to make a transition to there and a transition back as well. Now from idle to wave, the transition, you'll see here, I want to make the transition that if dance, since the Boolean parameter, is true. And from wave back to idle, we'll just use a regular exit time condition. Alright, so to describe this a bit further, I can go into our character script actually. If I just, select the, double click the script down here, you'll see when the script pops up that we have a command, I already have a command assigned to the dance parameter, or to the dance state rather. You'll see here that if I press fire 2, which is the right mouse button, it'll basically play that dance animation. So that's what's going to happen here. If I press the right mouse button, it'll play my dance. Go ahead and play my dance. And if I want, I can just drag if I want to follow my character, get a better view of what's going on here, I can just drag this camera, just drag it right onto my dance dude, and that'll attach or parent it to my character when he's running around. Now if I press play, you'll see it'll follow my character around wherever he goes. And so there he goes, running through the wall. And I can go ahead and press my right mouse button. My character will begin his wave dance. So there you go, that's about it. That's all there is to it. To creating a very simple blend tree. If you want more information about how to create your own blend tree and your own Animator controller, you can check out the official tutorial on the Unity website. It's a lot more comprehensive. Or if you have any questions regarding iClone, you can email me at developer@reallusion.com.